Well, well, well. Cowboy fans, we better get ready. We got far in between Sunday games left for the Cowboys. Pretty much all we have left are big games, or I say big games. They're going to be big games if we win. All we have left are like Monday night and Thursday night, man. We have very little Sunday night games left. So we got an extra day. Today is the Cardinals versus Cowboys preview show. Spoiler alert, Cowboys are winning. Let's go. Let's go. I see some of y'all saying happy Halloween. I learned a long time ago. The true monsters are people, not monsters. But that's a story for another day. Let's talk Cowboys. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live on this Halloween. And I hope that the Cowboys are absolutely scary and monsters against the Arizona Cardinals. So, we got a great show for today. We're going to keep it nice and sweet. We are going to listen to the CD Lamb interview. Not all, well, I guess we can listen to all of it. CD Lamb said some very interesting things I didn't catch yesterday. We're going to listen to the Jerry Jones interview. Jerry, y'all just going to have to understand, man. Jerry just says dumb stuff. Bottom line. We got two Brian Schottenheimer interviews, and I'm going to kind of flip a coin in my head on which one we want to listen to. I think they may be one and the same. But we're going to listen to Brian Schottenheimer today, either on DallasCowboys.com or on 105.3 The Fan. And then we are going to get knee-deep into our Arizona Cardinals versus Dallas Cowboys preview show. We got a lot to cover in that thing. We got slides, we got website, we got a lot to do on that, but this is a very important game for the Cowboys. So we're going to dig a little bit in depth into it today. And then finally, to end the show, man, we're going to talk about all this trade excitement. Man, I have no clue. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I have no clue what the Cowboys are doing. I think they're going to do something. I just don't know what they're going to do. Cowboys may absolutely surprise us. We're thinking one player the Cowboys might do too. We'll see. But whatever the case may be, boy, the Cowboys is going to. Cowboys, they got to win. They got to win. Bottom line, they got to win. Because I can tell you this, the Cowboys don't win on Monday. I don't know what all the hoopla be about a trade unless it's for 2026. Because we'll eliminate ourselves. So, this is the show. Lamb interview, Jerry interview, Shotty interview, Cardinals preview, trade excitement. Let's go. All right, we're going to get a quick roll call in here. Quick roll call. And then we are on to our show. Hold on, I'm trying to do a little quick housekeeping. All right, let's get a quick roll call in here. Yeah, it's a great day to be a Cowboys fan. Let's go. Man, we've been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We've been in Halloween mode. We got to get out of Halloween mode. Amen? We got to get out of Halloween mode. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Lost in translation. What's up? Salute. Big Moss Dog, what's going on? Mose Logan, what's going on? Yes, sir. Thank you for becoming a member. Let's go. Mose, Osa is a disappointment on the D-line. Solomon Thomas is out playing him. And then we wonder why Jerry gets a little apprehensive about signing some of these players. What's up, JG? Yo! Jerry Thorsell, what up? John Henry up in this thing. Lock and D. I think we can beat the Cardinals if the defense makes some stops. If they don't, we will lose. I think if they don't make some stops, we're going to win. We're just going to put up points. Bottom line, we're just going to put up points. We're going to beat them with points. John Jones, what up, G Money? He says, it's a new Jack City. Let's go. My man Dominique Pittman, what up with you? Time to come with it. Marlon Dillard, what up with you? Chris Dunaway, what's up? Douglas Harrison, Terry Tatum. It's the regular Tyrone Church. What up with you, Church? Too Tall Jones 72, what up with you? Good to see you, Too Tall. Timothy Govan in here. Let's go. Mix Matrix, what's going on? She said hit that like button, I agree. Let's go. Alan Wilson, what's going on? He said, let's go Cowboys from Carolina. Got to beat the Cards. Yes. If not, he said, let's take the rest of the Hey, it's over if we don't win. It's over if we don't win. Hallelujah. What's up with you? What's going on? Billy D, what up? He said this show should be about draft position. Hey, Philly D, we can't give up yet, man. We can't give up yet. We got to win this game. H.G. Wells, what's up? We got to win this game. We ain't giving up yet. Marvin Mays, what's going on? I think the defense going to show up this week. Now, y'all have to understand. For our defense to show up, and I'm going to talk about this in the preview part of the show. For our defense to show up, it's different because we're so bad. So I'm going to show you what show up. I'm gonna show you what show up means for us. All right, let's get this thing going. David J, what up with you? Robert Paulson, see you up in here. What's going on? Let's get this thing going tonight. D-Hawk, what up, D-Hawk? He said, you know what, G, as bad as I hate to say this, but the tape proves it. We only gave up 100-yard rusher before Sanborn went out. Unfortunately, we need him back to help us. Yeah, and he ain't playing this week either. Sanborn ain't playing this week. What up, Michael Hilliard? Yeah, he ain't playing. Whatever's going on with him, I think he's got a growing injury or something. Yeah, he ain't playing. Yep. He ain't playing. All right. Let's get to our first topic for tonight.
Here we go.
Our first topic for tonight, I want to roll over here real quick and listen to CeeDee Lamb. I did a video on this earlier today, but CeeDee Lamb said some things that kind of caught my ear. And he kind of agrees with me on, and it's not like we know each other, but I guess he said the same thing that I kind of said. I kind of mentioned Dominique Pittman. I shouted you out in my last video. I kind of mentioned that the Cowboys need to go ahead and pay George Pickens. Go ahead and pay George Pickens. But what I thought was powerful is the fact that CeeDee Lamb, what CeeDee Lamb said about signing George Pickens. And I thought it was pretty amazing. Hold on a second. I thought it was pretty amazing what he said about George Pickens and paying George Pickens. And I'm telling you now, man, this is such an unselfish gesture by CeeDee Lamb. It's really incredible. Let's check it out.
Wrong in my eyes, but he know. I tell him since day one, like I got his back. I really do, and I believe that. And us as a team, myself included, I'm not excluding myself, but I just feel like control the aggression. And then when we get the opportunity to go head to head against somebody else, unleash.
How does your personality match with George? He's very much more demonstrative, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of your alter ego, because you're more reserved and laid back.
Yeah. I'm going to let him do his thing. I'm going to let him do his thing. He can't do no wrong in my eyes, but he know. I tell him since day one, like, I got his back. I really do, and I believe that, and he could do no wrong in my eyes. So as far as him being a competitor, like, I told him, bring George, bring GP. Like, whatever that looks like up there in Pittsburgh and on that field, bring that here. We're gonna control the rest.
What you like about that shiesty?
Okay, look. I won a shiesty before. I've had some good wins with it, but I know that's GP thing, so we're gonna rock out.
Shotty said he thought you were at a point in your career where you were ready for a receiver to come in like that.
Yeah.
You know, sort of a co-number one or whatever. Do you agree with that? That you were kind of at a point where you were ready for help like that, so to speak?
Absolutely. See, the way that you asked this question made me feel kind of old, but we're not gonna get into that. It's I do enjoy that, man, because obviously a guy of his caliber, he's definitely a one. I look at him as a one, and his ability to go catch the ball. I learned things from him just as well as vice versa. You know, I feel like we can pity pat off that, and overall we can grow at this position together. And I mean, we only got X amount of years together, so. Or really just in this league, and it's not promised, nor is it loyal to anybody. So get as much in, put as much out, and let's do it together, and let's rock.
What do you think you teach him?
I don't know. I feel like some patience a little bit. I understand that he's anxious to get out there and be himself, and I was that. Like, I'm still that. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on my op. I'm waiting on my number to be called, and I know it could get a little antsy, but just calling him down, and I see myself obviously in him, and I hope he does in me. So just let's go out here and do it together and get right.
Has he made a player done something that's even surprised you, knowing how good he was coming in?
Yeah, I mean, watching him every day in practice, we practice together. We doing a lot of things as far as trying new techniques, trying different ways to catch the ball. And then obviously the rack, his yards out of catch is pretty impressive. I don't know if you know or not, but it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more of that.
Thanks, CD.
Momentum, controlled aggression, and I feel like I'm saying, and I want the best for him. Obviously, rather than just making the most money in the NFL at the position
This is the part I want you to hear the most. CeeDee Lamb has kicked the door open for the Cowboys to start negotiating with George Pickens, because I think CeeDee Lamb is doing something very clever here. CeeDee Lamb is telling the Dallas Cowboys that it is okay to pay George Pickens more than him if that means keeping George Pickens, because this is showing me, and I think it's telling all of us, that CeeDee Lamb's intent is winning. CeeDee Lamb wants to win. CeeDee Lamb isn't caring about the accolades, the numbers, who's the number one, who's the number two. Lamb isn't caring about that. Lamb wants to win. And Lamb has kicked. George Pickens kind of cracked the door. He said, yeah, it's up to Jerry. Now, CD said, nah, kick the door open. If it means him being the highest paid wide receiver in the league, I want him. Didn't I tell y'all just a couple of days ago? What did I say? The Cowboys should make George Pickens the top paid wide receiver in the league right now. I told y'all. I told you. Why? Why should they do it? Because it makes sense. George Pickens is the third-ranked wide receiver in the league. And he did that off of when you think about where he really did that, off of 3 games when CeeDee Lamb was hurt. Had they fed George Pickens last week, George Pickens would be the number 1 rated receiver in the league right now. Absolutely. Absolutely would be the number 1 wide receiver in the league right now. Cowboys need to pay him. And y'all need to understand something. Man, the salary cap is mythological. The Eagles have proven it. The Detroit Lions are now proving it. The Rams have proven it. Man, you just got to know how to work the cap. That's all you have to do. If you know how to work the salary cap, you can pretty much sign anything. You can pretty much sign anybody. But the issue is,
Matter of minutes.
you have to be willing to do what comes along with working that salary cap. You're going to have about 2 or 3 years to where you're all in. And then you might have a year to where you got to let a player or two go and you got to recalibrate. And then you got to be willing to be competitive a year. And then you get to come back all over again about a year after that, 2 at the most, and you push all them chips in again. And you just keep on with the cycle. And so that's what you have to do. And that's why I told us the other day, I think we have allowed people to tell us the Cowboys are cheap. Cowboys aren't cheap. Cowboys have a misappropriation of funds. That's what your problem is. A misappropriation of funds. We have paid players and we have defensive players that we are paying big money to. The part we don't want to admit are the players that we're paying the big money to, they are not performing. Yeah, we're cheap and we're paying Oso Digizua. Yeah, we're paying Oso Digizua, but we're cheap. We're paying Trayvon Diggs, but we're cheap. We paid Deron Bland, but we're cheap. I'm talking defensively. And Malik Hooker, if I'm not mistaken, Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson wasn't cheap the last time I checked. And we can check those. Y'all hold on just a second. All right. So we're not cheap. We're not cheap. What we have is a misappropriation of funds. And the misappropriation of funds, and people get mad because Jerry talks about just because you pay a player don't mean you're going to have them, and then you pay a player, and then what happens if they don't perform? Well, Oso Digizua has not performed. Deron Bland has been injured this year. Trayvon Diggs, that whole contract situation is a mess. This guy has played the equivalent of one season. The equivalent of one season, period. One season, that's it. Yeah, I'm about to go back and cut that out on the replay. Cut that out on the replay, Big Amish. I got my buttons mixed up again. This was the button I thought I pressed, but I guess I pressed this one right here. Boy, y'all got to pray for me. All right. But we've paid players. That's not the problem. The players that we pay, they don't turn out. And so that's kind of where we're messing up. And I don't know if you're messing up per se, because we thought Diggs was it. But Diggs has been anything but it ever since we paid him. But again, the Lamb interview, I think the message that Lamb is sending is that Lamb just wants to win. Lamb is proving he wants to win, because that is a very unselfish move that he's making. To say that he doesn't mind George Pickens being the highest paid wide receiver is telling you all you need to know. One, he wants to win. Two, he wants to keep George Pickens. And he is sending a message to the front office that, hey, if y'all pay him more than me, I'm not going to be tripping on it. because it's next man up. So if y'all want to match me, paying more than me, I'm not going to cry about it. Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate that from CD Lamb. All right. So next up, got this crazy interview with Jerry Jones. I haven't listened to it, but I'm sure Jerry Jones didn't give us anything. I'm sure it's same old Jerry. I'm sure it's same old Jerry. Y'all got to realize, man, I told y'all the other day, we're just going to have to accept, man, that Jerry just says stupid stuff. Jerry has always said stupid stuff. He's always said stupid stuff. So we shouldn't be surprised that Jerry says stupid stuff. And so this is why I said the other day, I just laugh when people are talking about the phone call and Jerry saying, I'm on the phone with you rather than fixing the defense. Jerry, can we stop giving Jerry this much credit? I like Jerry Jones, but can we stop giving Jerry this much credit to say that Jerry Jones is fixing the offense? I mean, the defense. Jerry ain't fixing no defense. That's not what Jerry does. Jerry's not fixing no defense. Somebody else picks the players. Jerry ain't out here watching film. They might be showing Jerry film. Jerry ain't watching no film. But of course, they're going to talk to Jerry and ask him about trades and stuff like that, I'm sure. And, of course, they want to know, ask Jerry, kind of what happened. Let's check it out.
Here we go.
Now, Jerry, do you think you need to be working on your defense rather than talking with us right now?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we probably will get criticized if we aren't doing that. But goodness, I understand that perspective. We all get it. Let's just say what's going on here is we're not winning. We're not playing the way we want to be, the way I want to be, the way any of us want to be. And when you do that, then you check your whole card with everything you're doing. You check where you spend your time, how you spend it, and that's what's going on here. It's no secret at all that for ever since I've been involved, my days are involved, in a manner of speaking, in many areas. I frankly don't know many people in football that don't have their days involved in different areas. To the degree is, of course, debatable. But this is called professional football to make a point. That means it takes money to make it all go. Money. And so that any time that I'm doing anything that's away from looking at a specific player and how he's playing defense, it has to do with the ladder, and ultimately that ladder leads ultimately to the benefit of the Cowboys. Me sitting here talking on this phone with you, the visits that I'm having with our fans through you, that'll help score touchdowns because it ultimately involves in a way that makes it doable. And there's no, in the real world, Santa Claus does not put the tricycle on the Christmas tree. We all know that. Mm-hmm. You have to have juice to make it go. So I've always combined and never been, I've been unabashed about it since the day I walked in. Every day, every time I can, I'm looking for ways to give advantages to the Dallas Cowboys. Anybody that says that I don't focus on the Cowboys is just living in the moment of frustration, and I get that, and I'm frustrated too. But I was going to say when I got on the phone with you this morning, I'm going to say, look, I know we've got a few little time here, but you know I need to be spending fixing that defense rather than I do visiting with you guys.
Absolutely.
But we're
Yes,
talking
absolutely.
to some very important people. That's called our fans out here.
That's right. Now, seriously, Jerry.
Now, Jerry makes a very good point, and people, even when Jerry makes sense, people just don't like it. But Jerry's just saying something very simple. It doesn't mean that you're not serious about what you're serious about if you're going to take a few minutes out of your day to do something that needs to be done. That doesn't mean that you're neglecting what needs to be done. Sometimes you got to take a phone call. It's the bottom line. You have to take a phone call. For example, I think he's making a very point that may be going over people's head. Well, couldn't we be saying the same thing about Jerry on this interview? Would his time be spent best working on the defense than being on an interview with them? Understand what he's saying. It's simple. Just because you take a phone call, and the part that's got people in their feelings is Jerry is talking to someone, and come on, if you take that more than anything, you can take it serious if you want to, but if you take that of anything more than a joke, many of us have said things like that to emphasize the seriousness of something. I said that yesterday. And so at the end of the day, Jerry took 4 hours out of the day to be on the phone doing something else. In the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter. Why? We got to stop pretending that Jerry is watching film. He's out there, hey, give me these papers. Let me look at these pics and stop it. Jerry isn't doing that. That's not what Jerry is doing. Someone else is doing this footwork. And then they're bringing it to Jerry. Jerry isn't putting in the footwork, and we got to stop acting like that's what he's doing. And the comment to Comcast, I'm sorry, people just took that too serious. And if you didn't catch it, Jerry said as much. Jerry said people are attacking what he said because they're caught up in the frustration of the Dallas Cowboys losing, and he understands. That's what he said. So he ain't tripping hard on it. And Jerry is also saying, hey, I got to make money. I got to make money in my other businesses because I use some of that money to do things for the Cowboys. It's all a part of the machine. We can love it, like it, or hate it. It's all a part of the machine. But again, I'm going to tell y'all something else too. I noticed that a lot of people keep saying the Cowboys need a GM. Now, I got news for y'all. Now, I'm not saying the Cowboys don't need a GM. I think they would do well. I think they need a GM. But can I clue y'all in on something? I know what people have in their minds. People have in their minds that if we get a GM, our GM is going to be like Howie Roseman. I got news for you. No, our GM isn't. Stop thinking a GM fixes the Cowboys. The GM, Howie Roseman, the GM for the Lions, Howie Roseman, they're head and shoulders above everybody else. Stop thinking if we got a GM, yeah, they Howie Roseman. No, we're not going to have Howie Roseman. Unless we go get Howie Roseman. The only way we get Howie Roseman is we get Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman right now might be the best in the business. Howie Roseman might be the best in the business. And while I can applaud the GM of the Denver Broncos, I mean, not Denver Broncos, the Detroit Lions, I can applaud the general manager of the Detroit Lions. Y'all do know he hasn't won yet, right? And we don't even know if he's going to win. He hasn't won yet. We gotta watch it come to fruition. But even then, we don't have their GM, and who's to say we would? Man, Howie Roseman is different. I'm just telling y'all, man, Howie Roseman is different. Brad Holmes, let me make sure I put some respect on his name. In case y'all don't know what Brad Holmes looked like. Put some respect on his name. I talked about him last season too. Brad Holmes is very good GM. And one of the things I like about what the Lions do, same thing that the owner for the Eagles do. They've entrusted everything to their GM and their coaches. Pretty much their GM though. You got to understand, just because if you had a GM, it don't mean you'd have this guy right here. Excuse me, it don't mean you're going to have Brad Holmes. Now, what I would like to see, what Will McClay would look like if the Joneses would unleash him. What would he look like? If the Cowboys, I'd like to see what he looks like if they would unleash him. I do. What would he look like? What would he look like if the Cowboys took the governor off Will McClay? I would like to see what that looked like, but that's not the world that we live in. But just understand, just if we had a GM, I don't know if that means they would be like Brad Holmes or Howie Roseman or the GM for the Chiefs or the GM for the Rams. I mean, y'all got to understand, man, there's only a few franchises that are really ran the way that we think they should be ran. There's not a whole lot of these franchises out here being ran well. Not like you would want. Because we know, because they're not yielding Super Bowls. They're not yielding Super Bowls. So Jerry, in an interview, like I said, Jerry understands what it is, and Jerry's just trying to explain. He understands why people are a little sensitive about it, but they're bent out of shape, out of frustration, because the comment is simple. They took it out of context. I said it the other day.
Can you explain kind of the difference in the way you see how you run things as a GM as opposed to maybe other conventional ways out there?
Well, first of all, do you remember the name Tex Schramm?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Tex Schramm is the only other GM
Niners got a good GM too
that we've ever had. Now, he had a pretty good people around him. He had people like Gil Brandt. But Tex was the GM. And Tex picked some pretty good players himself. I know for a fact from Gil as well as others. He picked Roger Staubach. So to start with a pretty
Jay,
good
I'd like
right
to see
there.
McClay be able to do his thing.
Certainly, Tex had a personnel director in Gil Brandt that was outstanding and very innovative. But Tex made the final call, and Tex made the ultimate decisions. And so that was a template that I stepped into when I bought the Cowboys. And so if you really want to know how it works, Tex spent quite a bit of time with League Matters to be trite. He was outstanding. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. But Tex...
Booba D got me laughing at him. Booba D said, but you're not Tex Schramm. I see you, Booba D. Booba D said, you're not Tex Schramm.
Tex also spent a lot of time with football. He had a lot of time with negotiation. Roger Staubach tells the story of standing outside his windows, jumping up and down and putting his face on the window because he wanted more money on his contract. So my point is, if you want to look at a template, really the Cowboys have never had a template that was done any differently. Now, I'm not trying to compare myself to Tex Schramm as far as our ability is concerned. I'm just trying to say this is the way that it's always been done with the Cowboys. I'm a big believer that the more you have on the line, the more you have commitment, then the more you will stretch and do something that's special, above the norm. There's nobody in sports that's ever had more on the line when they make a decision than I have. Not only when I first got here, but I keep it pushed out like that. And there's always so much riding on us making a touchdown or us making the tackle or winning the game or having the season. Nobody puts more on the line than I do. That's a self-motivating thing.
So is it safe to assume then, like when you lay out that statement, that you would disagree with many Cowboys fans who think the goal is at times just to stay in the mix, to stay relevant and make money, as opposed to take the next step and win that championship?
Yeah. Well, let's put it like this. The fact if you won a championship would enhance the first part of that statement. Championships are wonderful for increasing values and doing things like that, if you just wanted to look at it from that standpoint. Now, nobody should ever, and I get it, and I do get this. When I first got involved, I have been very upfront, and I've said I'm going to be involved in everything there is that takes to put a player on the field and do a football game. That's been the way it's been for all these years. As it turned out, we needed to have a lot of other things happening to have the game that we have today, and I work at that. And I work at that all the time. You have to be able to, almost sometimes in the same 10 minutes, be able to switch over on phone calls and talk about a television contract or talk about Micah's contract or talk about what we might be doing out here in free agency today. Or at the same time talk about having a great soccer event at the stadium. All of that is what pushes this ball forward.
Jerry, Dak did say that a trade definitely can help this team. Have any players mentioned that they would like to see a trade or two? And are there a handful of players on this team that might have that influence with the front office?
Yeah, except if not in Dak's case. But except if we're trading for a player that's going to take their job. I haven't had anybody come to the door to try to get that guy in the door.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't there.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a player?
You make the point. You get the point.
Mm-hmm.
It's perspective. It's perspective. Now, by the way, you have to have that competition, and I'm not being trite, but the facts are that when you're getting advice or you're asking anybody's opinion, you need to know the perspective they're coming from. And just like I do, I have my biases.
How important, if you guys do make a move, if y'all do make a couple of trades, how important is it for the guy that you bring in to be able to hit the ground running and be an impact starter?
Well, if it's got anything to do with this season, at this juncture in the season, it's real important they hit the ground running. That's still not to say that you wouldn't make a trade for the potential future. Mingo was that type trade last year.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't anticipate him really really getting in and in a very short time be able to come in here and help. But we like the value on a going forward basis.
Are you disappointed he still hasn't made that impact then?
Disappointed is not the word for it, but if you have to have an immediate result when you draft, or if you have to have an immediate result when you acquire a player, you would have cut short a lot of good players around here. They have to evolve. Tony Romo evolved. Tony Romo was here, and he was here weeks, he was here months, he was here years. And his biggest problem, I'll never forget, he looked me right in the eye before a game, and he said, "Mr. Jones, until you pay me some money, you're not going to be motivated to put me out on the field. So no, I'm not going to do an incentive-based deal. I want some serious money on the table, and then I'll know you'll put me in the games and I'll have a chance to compete." That's quote. And when we finished with the talk, he left, and Bill and I, Parcells, were sitting there, and Bill jumped up and grabbed me and said, "We got us a quarterback, boy." Did you see him look you in the eye and tell you that?
Is there any concern on your part that the Cowboys, they're 3-4-1, and the 3 wins are against teams that have a combined record of 6-18? I know a win is a win, but the wins have been against subpar competition thus far this year.
What up,
do you
Dolores?
want to take those wins off and make them losses because of who we played, or do you want to keep those wins?
If I'm being honest, if I can use the phrase now, not to be trite, there is part of me that kind of does, because I think building up draft assets for the future might be the better way to go based on this season.
Yeah, well, I'll put that over here. I'm noted, duly noted. Got your name out beside it, and I'll put that down as a recommendation on your part. And that's the way I operate.
Okay.
Hey, boy, hey. Boy, Jerry ain't taking no prisoners today, boy. Jerry is taking no prisoners today. Man, Jerry pushing back. And again, guys, y'all, you know what? I can agree with y'all on Jerry as a bad GM. But I can also come back on the other side of this. And this is the side that we don't like to talk about. And I think this is where Lonnie Cabal is kind of commenting on. And man, some of the players, the problem is, but some of the players that Jerry has signed, and some of those players we wanted him to sign, he signs them, and then they're disappointments. Donovan Wilson, disappointment. Now somebody says, "Well, I didn't want Donovan Wilson signed. I know a whole bunch of people wanted Oso Digizua signed." I remember people, yeah, man, Jerry cheap, and Jerry this, and Jerry that, and Jerry, he ain't gonna sign Oso Digizua. Man, Jerry signed Oso Digizua. Tell me what he's done since. Now, some of it is this. Sometimes we're signing players that we think are dominant players, but they're not really dominant players. If they got a dominant player beside them, they play better. But if they got to be the dominant player, and that's where we're missing. When they got to be the dominant player, they're not playing well. Now, I'm going to give Oso Digizua and Kenny Clark a little bit of leeway. They are getting double teamed at the defensive tackle position. They are getting some double teams in there because that's kind of a strength of the team. They're getting some double teams in there. And what's been the shortcoming of this team? It's the disappointing play of Dante Fowler and Sam Williams. Now, where I fault Jerry is that Jerry wants the money to dictate who's good. Jerry paid Dante Fowler. Jerry wants Dante Fowler to be good. Cowboys drafted Sam Williams. The Cowboys want Sam Williams to be good. They thought he was going to be able to fill somewhat, those two were going to be able to fill somewhat of a void. They haven't. And then the Cowboys are trying to do this old rotational thing, kind of looking at what the Eagles did last year. That ain't working either. So the Cowboys are going to have to go back to what is our best line combination? We can move Solomon Thomas in and out of the 3. Our best defensive ends are James Houston, Donovan Ezraku, Jadeveon Clowney. Somebody's got to tell somebody. The other two, they don't even need 10, 15 snaps a game. Only way Sam Williams needs snaps is if somebody gets tired. Cowboys got to just be willing to say Dante Fowler was a mistake. Period in the story. Jerry paid, and I don't see a lot of people talking about Trayvon Diggs. Jerry paid Trayvon Diggs. Folks were ecstatic when Jerry paid Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs has been nothing but a disappointment. And not all at the fault of his own injuries. Shoot. Man, we got people going for the Sean Lee Award right now. We sign them, they go for the Sean Lee Award. I'm just telling us. Yep, Jerry's been terrible at certain things. But some of these things, I don't know what you call it. Misfortune? Trayvon Diggs is misfortune. Trayvon Diggs is misfortune. Michael Gallup was stupid. Also, Diggy I don't know too many people who didn't want the Cowboys to pay also Diggy. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. But I know a lot of people want to sign also Diggy, and he's been silent. When you pay also Diggy, you're expecting dominance. It's been a little bit silent. And you would expect with Kenny Clark beside him, boy, he'd be doing some business. Nope. Some of these players they signed, they're just missing on them. And some of these players are players we wanted signed, and we're missing on them. Some of these players they signed is dumb, but, you know.
I talk to everybody involved that I talk to, and I listen to them, and then ultimately make a decision. Appreciate your input.
Absolutely. Along those lines, you know, you've talked about helping out the future of the team and the current of the team. Could you see a scenario going into the trade deadline where you would consider sending players out in a trade as opposed to bringing them in?
The focus
What's up, LaQueen?
on what you just said, sending good players, I'm going to assume, good
Yes.
players out.
Yes.
Okay, no. I would consider keeping good players, sending lesser players out to bring good players in.
Woo! Jerry's taking no prisoners today. They got Jerry fired up. No prisoners. Doug Williams, I'm going to do a segment in a few. Doug Williams, we got to stop. Let me just say this to everybody. We got to stop being in La La Land. What you're watching Michael Parsons do with the Green Bay Packers, he would not be doing with the Dallas Cowboys. The Green Bay Packers not only have a roster, not only do they have a good defensive roster, they're running a different scheme because Michael Parsons for them is extra. They can line him up wherever they want to. He's a chess piece with Green Bay. With us, it'd be more of what we had last year. Y'all do know we were better than we were last year. Last year we were better, but we were still dead last in the run almost. If we were not last, we were 31. We were still getting bukus of points put on us when Michael Parsons was here and when he was healthy. Do y'all realize there was a point in the season last year where we had Parsons, Overshown, and Diggs playing, and we were still getting the business? We were still getting 30-plus points put up on us? We're in La La Land. Only thing we'd have been with Michael Parsons is poo-poo with Miracle Whip on it. Now we're just poo-poo. Last year we're poo-poo with Miracle Whip. We couldn't stop the run last year. Our defense was terrible last year. And that's with Michael Parsons. We gotta stop thinking that Michael would have helped this defense. Yeah, but how much? How much? Marvin Mays said, gee, this is why Jerry's leery on paying some of these players. Marvin Mays, people just don't understand. They're not admitting it because it's the players that they like that the Cowboys signed, and they don't want to admit those players aren't playing well. They don't want to admit stuff like that. But I'm telling us, man, one of the biggest players the Cowboys have signed, and you want to talk about didn't get any of the money out of him? Trayvon Diggs. And I'm not hating on Trayvon Diggs. I'm just telling us the truth. Man, this dude, Trayvon Diggs, is going to get $42 million for 19 games. Let that sink in. What quarterback is getting paid like that? What quarterback do y'all know getting paid like Trayvon Diggs? And what do I mean by that? The amount of money that Trayvon Diggs for 19 games, $42 million? Man, I bet you people wish they could make $42 million for 19 games. Man, that's quarterback money. That's dang near quarterback money. $42 million in a season? Cowboys paid Michael Gallup. Cowboys overpaid Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys went back and did Zach Martin deal. Kept Zach Martin too long. Zach Martin held out for a retirement plan. Cowboys shouldn't have did that with Zach Martin. Cowboys have done some dumb things. They've done some dumb things, and then they've had some bad. They just had some bad situations. True Texan said, not being a jerk, but the defense not on the field long enough to be tired, in my opinion. Yes, spell the ones when they need it, but shove that rotation crap. That rotation stuff needs to go. I said it long before Bobby Belt said it. That rotation stuff, I've been said it wasn't working. Wasn't working, not working. Cowboys need to boil it down to their best players and play them. Yep, Randy Gregory. Forgot about him, Merrill Ray. Cowboys, man, some of this has been, it's been some bad stuff on their part. Then there's been some misfortune too.
Okay.
I'm satisfied with that answer for sure. Hey, Jerry, we just saw the Dolphins GM Chris Greer and the Dolphins parted ways. What kind of benefit or challenge does that make if you try and work with them and negotiate a deal? Like, you want a couple of their players, and now you got a whole new voice that you're talking to.
Well, we all, we've had three different defensive coordinators in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so while change creates a freshness or new ideas, you also pay the price of giving up continuity. And when you have a world like we have where we sign players for long-term agreements, long-term being 3, 4, 5 years in a row, and you change the way they're coached or the philosophy of how to play a certain position, then you see what you get into. You get players that aren't in line with who you're bringing in as coach. So you bring in coaches that are aligned with the players you got under contract.
Now, this is an answer, and I don't understand the answer to the question because he's not answering the question about he's not answering the question of how do you negotiate with a team without their GM. He's not answering that question.
Or do you bring in coaches that will have you bring in other players that you don't have under contract? So change, really, continuity.
Now, this could be Jerry's way of avoiding the question because Miami might be one of the teams that the Cowboys are actually currently in some kind of negotiations with to get some of their players. A lot of people keep talking about Minka Fitzpatrick. We'll see how that goes.
Is an edge. It's an edge in terms of, but you got a better chance if you've got continuity out there, if you like what you're doing at the time, the philosophy of the coach as to really technique, blocking, all the things that we do to play a football game.
Carly, you're.
Yeah, Ron Hanna, I can tell you what ticked Jerry off. What ticked Jerry off is how people ran with that statement. That's what's ticking Jerry off. And so Jerry ain't taking no prisoners today. You can tell. JCT Slice, appreciate that super chat. Now, JCT Slice, you ask a very interesting question. Let me tell you something about people. And I just want y'all to just kind of check your feelings for a moment. Let me tell you something about people when it comes to the Cowboys. You want to know why there's always drama around the Dallas Cowboys, JCT Slice? Jerry isn't the only drama. The people who cover the team create the drama too. I told y'all this yesterday. It is the way. See, some people try to protect themselves, and they try to put themselves on a pedestal by saying stuff like, nah, we keep it real. I keep it real. I'm gonna give you the real and blah, blah, blah. Man, let me tell you something. Two people can give you the real. It's all in the way they present it. One person can present the real to you to where they are objectively presenting to you the real. They're giving you the pros, the cons, the ups, the downs, the faults. They're giving you the mistakes, but they're also giving you the things that were done right. And I've learned this about people as it pertains to the Cowboys. JCT Slice, the real is they're going to always give you the negative spin. I've noticed this about this Cowboys community. They always give you the negative spin. They can't wait to do it. You just watch the way people cover the Cowboys. Everything they lead off with almost is negative. I'm still just in awe that people are having a conversation that Jerry don't care about the Cowboys while simultaneously having the conversation of who we going to bring in on the trade deadline. And the reason why they're excited about it is because the reports, which have not actually been coming out of Dallas, because it seems to me that Jerry, by design, is not telling some of the Dallas media community, as much, I guess, as he normally would, because we're getting these reports from the places outside of Dallas, the insiders of some of these other teams, and we're hearing everything but Jerry don't care about the Cowboys because Jerry has been on the phone. The Cowboys have been on the phone, and they have not just been trying to bring in a cheap player. The Cowboys have been trying to bring in an impact player. It's all in the way you report it. And JCT Slice, appreciate that super chat again. It's the way this team is being reported. Watch this. Case in point. Anybody realize the Baltimore Ravens are having a terrible season? And it's not just because Lamar Jackson is injured. They were struggling before Lamar Jackson got injured. They were struggling before Lamar Jackson got injured. And it's amazing because we're a 3-5-1 team. We're watching a Baltimore Raven team beat the worst team. They beat the absolute. I don't think there's no team out there worse than the Miami Dolphins right now. Isn't it funny how people talk about the Baltimore Ravens? We're still out here saying the Baltimore Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. We're still out here propagating that they're going to the Super Bowl. We're still propagating that. It's all in how you report. Bottom line, it's all in how you report. And I'm telling y'all that that Jerry and this front office, they've been making a point not to tell this Dallas media certain things. Because I've watched some of these things play out this year, and the Dallas media were adamant that this wasn't going to happen and that wasn't going to happen, and it happened. Yeah, it happened. And again, Dominique Pittman, he says, y'all better be prepared to be disappointed by this trade deadline because it's either going to be no trade or a trade for some form of first round with long gone glory days. Well, again, Dominique, I can tell you this. This is like you're giving me the example of what I'm saying. You're saying prepare to be disappointed. Why? Why should we be prepared to be disappointed? Why should we be prepared to be disappointed? The Bible teaches us be anxious for nothing. I don't put myself in that mindset. I don't put myself in a mindset of what the Cowboys, that every move they make is dependent upon how I feel. I don't put myself in a mindset of what the Cowboys might do. I put myself in the mindset of what they might do, and I put myself in the mindset of what they might not do, but either way, I can't control it. So I'm excited if they do, but I'm rolling if they don't. So for me, maybe my disposition is just different than everybody else's, but I don't report the Cowboys like that. And when I talk about Jerry Jones, I report Jerry Jones like I know who Jerry Jones is. Maya Angelou said, when somebody show you who they are, believe them. This is why Dak Prescott clearly said. Dak Prescott said, Jerry hasn't lied to anybody about who he is. I know exactly who Jerry Jones is. Jerry Jones is a salesman. Jerry Jones is all about the Dallas Cowboys and their popularity. And Jerry Jones wants to win, but the problem is he wants to win his way. And you may classify that as Jerry don't want to win. I don't classify that as Jerry don't want to win. I classify that as Jerry wants to win his way. And from what we can tell, there's nothing you can tell him either way. But again, Jerry's been lying to. We think Jerry's been lying to us in other ways. But I'm telling you, Jerry has been lying to this Dallas media in particular for whatever reason, because they were talking about it even on the Fan the other day, that Jerry has not been telling the local media some of the things that he would normally tell them. They're saying this. I'm not preparing myself. And I like I said, Dominique, you can prepare yourself if you want to, but that's not how I'm preparing myself. I never prepare myself like that. I'm just preparing myself for whatever happens. I'm not going to get so down. I just can't operate in that sphere. Because I know how that's going to make me feel as it pertains to the Cowboys. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just stay in reality. And if the Cowboys don't do something exciting, it's not because they didn't want to. It's not because they didn't want to. We know now beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Cowboys tried to get Trey Hendrickson, struck out. Tried to get Max Crosby. I think they're still swinging on Max Crosby. And the long shot is, because now the reports are starting to come out, Cleveland Browns said they wouldn't trade Myles Garrett. All of a sudden now it's being talked about that the Cleveland Browns will trade Myles Garrett. Something is going to happen crazy on Tuesday. And where I am, I'm just prepared for whatever the Cowboys do. Because I know what they've been trying to do. It's just not working. Because I told y'all this the other day. These teams like the Las Vegas Raiders, Cleveland Browns, this is the one part I am going to say. They about to show Cowboys how to do it. Cowboys got undercompensated for Micah Parsons. They're about to show the Cowboys how to do it. Cowboys should have got more than 2 first-round draft picks for Micah Parsons. I would have pressed the Green Bay Packers. I would have pressed them. Nah, bro, you ain't done not two in a player. Now you're gonna give me about 4 draft picks. Miles Jack is the standard. Bro, you giving me 4? You giving me 4 picks and players if I want them. Because if that's other than that, I'll keep him. I'll keep him. It'll be hard to find somebody else like him in the draft over the next 3 to 4 years. I'll keep him if that's the case. Cowboys, though, you can tell things got too far with Micah Parsons and they let him ride. But these other teams are about to show the Cowboys how to do it. And I want y'all to understand, y'all can't have it both ways. If we wind up bringing Myles Garrett in here, you can't be crying, because I said it the other day and it came out exactly what I said. I said if I were the Cowboys, I'd give up 3 first-round draft picks for Myles Garrett. Guess what happened? It's now being reported the Philadelphia Eagles are willing to give up 3 first-round draft picks for Myles Garrett and a player. Cowboys do it. Understand, it is what it is. We want Bay to cry about it later on. JCT, he says, why people in the media always make excuses for Josh Allen before one ball is snapped? The Bills-Chiefs game hasn't even started yet. Oh, no doubt. I mean, you think about, like I said, the Baltimore Ravens having a terrible season. Just listen to how they make excuses for them. Just make excuses for them. Dominique Pittman, now you know you're my man. 100 grand is what we used to say in the hood. Now, Dominique Pittman, so let me ask you this. You said you're preparing yourself for what they might not do. But let me ask you the other side of the question. But have you prepared yourself for what they might do? That's all. I mean, have you prepared yourself for what they might do? I can understand, hey, prepare yourself for what they might not do. But I'm asking, but have you prepared yourself for what they might do? Because what they might do is absolutely shocking. And the only reason why I think Dominique Pittman, and I'm kind of agreeing with you in this perspective, the only reason why I think the Cowboys aren't going to be able to land a big fish is because these teams are doing exactly what I'm saying they're doing. They're not going to they're not going to allow the Cowboys to pull the okie doke on them like the Green Bay Packers pulled on the Cowboys. Now, I'm going to tell you a reason why I think the Cowboys were able to get, while the Green Bay Packers were able to put the okie doke over on the Dallas Cowboys, Dominique. It is being reported, or it was reported, that was the best offer the Cowboys got. That's what they're saying. Now, me, I'm not taking that offer unless I just want to get rid of Micah Parsons. I'm not taking that offer. But by all accounts, and this station reported it, Green Bay was the best offer they got. See, this is what happened when you get into a situation with a player to where people know that you want to get rid of him. When they know you want to get rid of him and there's no, that if you don't get rid of him, it's going to be detrimental to your team. Well, then all of a sudden, you're the one. You're the one in the tight situation because now you want to get rid of him. man, you lose a lot of leverage when you either want or have to get rid of a player. But again, at the end of the day, man, Jerry Jones is the one making these decisions. He's already just explained it. Even when the guy, he said, duly noted. Because Jerry isn't making these decisions by himself. That's the part that people don't understand. And that's why I give Jerry Jones a lot of credit. Man, Jerry Jones got Jerry Jones got thick skin. Man, Jerry Jones got thick skin. And he talked about this even in the documentary. He loves the ambiguity. He loves all of this stuff. He loves it. He thrives on it. But Jerry is taking the heat when at the end of the day, Jerry ain't the one doing all this. Jerry is the face of all this. He ain't making all these decisions. Y'all keep thinking Jerry making all these decisions. Jerry ain't making all these decisions. These decisions are coming from a group of people within the Cowboys, and Jerry is the face of it. Telling you. Marvin said, I'm kind of 50-50 on free agency. Whoever we get will be just with cheese piece for the future. We need to draft defense only next season. I think whatever the Cowboys do, depending upon what happens on Monday, I think it's for the future. I really do think it's for the future regardless, but even more so if they lose. And so the Cowboys are keeping in their mind, this is what they're going to do. Yeah, this is what they're going to do. Yeah, Dominique Pittman, I think what happened with the Green Bay thing is that people knew the Cowboys wanted to get rid of him. And when people know you want to get rid of somebody, Dominique, man, they can do anything they want. You're at the mercy. You're at the mercy of people when they know you got a situation. Man, when you got a situation, you think about this. Let me give y'all a prime example. The pawn shop. What do you think the pawn shop is designed for? The pawn shop is designed for someone who is in a very tight spot and they need some money bad. You ever notice why when you go to the pawn shop, you give them something, they don't even give you half of what it's worth? See, the Cowboys and Michael Parsons played out their drama in front of the world. And as the world is watching their drama, they realize now the Cowboys in a situation to where they have to get rid of Michael Parsons. The Cowboys didn't want to keep Michael Parsons. So now they're in a situation that they got to get rid of him. So now when I'm making a deal with you, I'm making a deal with you like the pawn shop. Hey, you know what? I know what he's worth, but I'm not giving it to you. Because I know you're not willing to keep him now. I know you're not willing to keep him. So you're either going to be stuck with him or you're going to take this pawn shop price. And that's what happened. This is why the Cowboys, even when you think about Trayvon Diggs, I think the Cowboys have kind of made a mistake with Trayvon Diggs. Some people are talking about the Cowboys could possibly trade Trayvon Diggs. Explain to me who. It's not just his contract. It's the fact that the Cowboys went from a head injury to saying that he could require knee surgery again. Man, ain't nobody want Trayvon Diggs. Only way Cowboys getting rid of Trayvon Diggs, they're going to eat that contract. They're going to eat that contract. But I tell you, I'm telling you, excuse me, some of this stuff is, Jerry is just the face of this stuff. Y'all got to understand, man, this ain't all Jerry. But then again, when Jerry goes and make a great, if Jerry goes out there and gets a great player if Jerry goes out there and get a great player this coming up Monday or Tuesday, are y'all going to give Jerry the same credit that y'all turn him down for? I'm just asking for a friend.
Say Gordon, co-owner of the Colts, is on the sideline wearing a headset, learning more about the game, her team. Do you admire that from her, or do you see it differently?
Yeah, SMU graduate, out there, really involved in the team. I love it. Her granddad was one of the first people I met when I walked through the door in 1989. He was the host for the Chicago 11. That was the group of 11 owners that I got in.
Man, that lady for the Colts on a different level. Man, she down there with a headset, clipboard, sideline, hugging players now, high-fiving. Boy, they in dangerous territory. Boy, they in dangerous territory having her down there.
Bob, why I don't know, but I found that way in the room, and the rest of the league were going in a different direction with the commissioner. Pete Rozelle was leaving. Her granddad stepped up there and encouraged a group of us called the Chicago 11, and we went in a different direction. We ultimately ended up having Tagliabue as the commissioner. So I've always related that family and that franchise to those experiences that I had when I first got involved in the NFL.
Now,
boy, Jerry, this is the second question. Man, that's why I say, too, man, y'all got to just, man, let me tell you something. I think Poopa D made a great comment earlier. I'll just be honest with you with Jerry Jones. A lot of stuff Jerry Jones say, I don't even really pay it no mind. Dak Prescott said the same thing. I just don't really pay it a lot of mind because I just know who I'm dealing with. Jerry Jones is that old man that has earned the right to say whatever he wants to say, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. There's just nothing nobody can do about it. Jerry gonna say what Jerry says. Jerry's the face of a lot of stuff the Cowboys do, but the reality is Jerry is the scapegoat too, because I'm telling y'all, Jerry ain't making all these doggone decisions. Man, y'all gotta stop. We gotta stop fooling ourselves. That's why I be laughing at them when I told y'all this, a couple of weeks ago. Man, I laugh when they're talking to Jerry about football stuff, because I'm like, man, Jerry is only telling you what he heard somebody say in a meeting. Jerry is not focused on this the way people think. They're just not. They're just not. They're not. And it's not that he's not focused. Jerry just don't know some of this stuff the way people do. This is a group of people making these decisions. And Jerry is just the face of them out here saying the different things.
as the team gets ready for Monday's game, obviously the Cowboys have been phenomenal offensively at home, scoring at least 40 points in all three home games this season. Have you noticed anything different between the offensive game plan and execution of these home games versus, you know, still having a solid but not spectacular offense on the road?
Yeah, communications are more difficult, and you got to do it with more signaling, more nuances. You got to work around the noise on the road. They tune it up when you got the ball, and so that's why you have hand signals on the road, and you don't have to use them, and you can just communicate a lot about. A whole lot of our success has to do with Dak being able to set it up before he snaps the ball. They would continue trying to reduce that responsibility as much as they could, but still, Dak's so exceptional at getting everybody lined up and pointing out the nuances of the defense while he's reading it. And so all of that can get a little compromised when it's noisy. And so I'd say that's the biggest difference.
Jerry, I'm not a lot of people have been talking about this. I'm not sure if you know. Kyler Murray has never lost a game at AT&T Stadium. How do we stop Kyler Murray from getting another win on Monday night?
Well, he's a handful, and he has some challenges that with his quickness and his athletic ability. No one respects him more than we do because of just that. He's played in the stadium a long time. So that's a challenge. And but, boy, that's what happens. Going way back, how do you stop Randy Moss? When Randy Moss wanted to show out because he's mad because I didn't draft him. But it's not uncommon for us to have a player that exceptionally has the talent to give you more problems than normal, or doesn't have the standard type things that you have to work for. He's so quick, such a great athlete, and just makes things happen on his own, and that's why he's been successful at that stadium.
Yeah, Jerry, Kevin and I got a lot of chances to watch him in high school because we were covering the high school beat at the time. Did you get to see him at high school? And if so, like, did you go, oh, that kid's going to the NFL?
I never saw him play in a high school game in person, but I saw the results of it and obviously the highlights. And then, of course, I got to see all you can possibly see of him when he came through the draft. And that can get into high school. And so, I'm very familiar with the way he plays football and the problems that he presents. And, of course, I saw him with that great career at Oklahoma. And all of that, yes, you see those exceptional players like that. When you do what we do, you see a lot of them.
Well, we appreciate the time. As always, best of luck on Monday, and we'll catch up with you next Friday.
Well, great job.
Yeah, I'm just telling us, man, Jerry, the stuff with Jerry is much ado about nothing. I mean, I'm just being honest with us. I think, and this is one of the things about this team, you know, people just love to report every single thing about this team. It's much ado about nothing. The Cowboys, what Jerry is doing, Jerry is trying to, I think they're all trying to fix this team, but I also think, and I don't think I know, at least at this point, the Matt Eberflus hire was a mistake no matter which side you look at it from. It was a mistake to bring in Matt Eberflus to coach this group of players, or it was a mistake to bring in Matt Eberflus and not let him bring in all of his players and let go of some of these players. Either way, mistake by the Cowboys. Junior, what up with you? Man, Junior, let me tell you something. I saw this later. I said it could be worse. It said if Jerry was doing what the coach owner was doing, people would lose their ever-loving mind. It would be the lead story for months. They ain't going to touch you with a 10-foot pole, and we know why, Junior, but we ain't going to say the why. But we know why they not going to touch it. Yeah, we know why they not going to touch it. But again, I'm not concerned with what Jerry is doing as much as I'm very interested in what they have been doing. And it sounds like to me, they got something going. In this local media, they don't know nothing about it. But I'm telling you, this dude over on X, whatever his name is, Ricky. Well, Ricky is already reporting that the Cowboys got something big going on. And he was right about George Pickens. This dude seems to got some kind of insight on something. And boy, he is reporting the Cowboys got something going on. So, again, I'm not going to be too anxious about it. I know they're going to do something. I already been saying this. I know the Cowboys are going to do something. It's just a matter of what are they going to do. And let's think on this. Will it matter? As far as this season goes, depending upon what happens on Monday, Cowboys got to win it. All right, let's listen to one last interview from Brian Schottenheimer. Then we're going to move over to the Cardinals preview. We're going to try to get a lot more football in here. But Brian Schottenheimer, let's check out what Brian Schottenheimer's talking about.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, happy Halloween, guys.
What are you dressing up for, and what's the last thing you dressed up as?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I think with everything I've been dealing with snakes and things, I'm going to dress up as Matt Damon.
Boy, let me tell you something. Lonnie said Ricky knows something. Bama Boy said, what media said trade Aubrey? I'll punch him in the face. Man, I saw that stuff. And this is the very stuff I'm telling y'all about. Man, I get so fed up with this hypothetical stuff on the Cowboys. Man, I can't do it. I just can't get myself hyped up on hypotheticals like that. It's the same thing with the trade. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do or what they're not going to do. But man, I'm not going to get myself so built up that if the Cowboys don't walk away from this thing with Max Crosby or Myles Garrett or whoever else, man, I'm not going to be busting my TVs out and wasting all my time that negative energy talking bad about the Cowboys. It is what it is. I'm telling you, I think they've tried, but they've struck out. But Jerry says deadline gets deals done. And I think Stephen Jones, there must be an interview out there that we haven't seen, because I've seen where people have been reporting what Stephen Jones is saying. Stephen Jones is saying that Jerry likes to trade and do deals and all of this stuff. Man, I hadn't seen this thing. They're talking about that Stephen has said that Matt Eberflus, he hopes he makes it until the end of the season. I want to see this video. Boy, that's a crazy statement to make. That's a crazy statement. But boy, you ain't lying, Bama boy. Boy, trade Brandon Aubrey. Boy, who comes up with this stuff? Just like Kalishaw talking about the Cowboys got to trade George Pickens. Man, Lock and D, I said this is crazy talk. But this is the kind of talk that gets the Cowboys, the Cowboy fan base all fired up. Somebody will say something and then everybody get mad when they don't do it. I don't even understand it. Bam Bam said, question is, does Jerry want to steal the headline Sunday with everyone else playing except the Cowboys, or does he wait until the last second to do whatever he's going to do? Okay, let me look at the calendar real quick. Trade deadline is Tuesday. Now, isn't Jerry doing the thing with Stephen A. Smith? At least this is what they're saying. Isn't he doing the thing with Stephen A. Smith on Monday? We'll see if that's the preview of what Jerry does. I'm kind of like, what is going on with this doggone Stephen A. Smith interview? Whoa. Jonathan, hey, let me tell you something. Jonathan A. Welcome to the congregation. Man, Jerry Jones going to have to make another deal with the devil to make that deal happen. Jerry got to make another deal with the devil to make that deal happen, Jonathan A. Jerry going to have to sign over his soul, sign it in blood, and give up the next 5 or 6 drafts to get both of them in. Man, Jerry would have to give up the next 4 drafts. Now, this part I don't disagree with you so much. He's always trying to steal headlines. Jerry loves headlines. Jerry believes there's no such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, Dominique, boy, I'm telling you, that would require some crazy. Oof, what that would require. All right, let's get this Shotty interview out of the way. I want to get into this Cardinals thing. Enough of the drama. Shotty's going to transition us back over to football. Let's go.
A zoo, and that's what I'm going to go with. But honestly, the last thing I think I dressed up as,
James Starks, the move we're making is not going to be for this year.
That, my wife did for like
at least not this year only.
Party. It was actually a pretty cool Rager, and I was a pimp. Yep, sure was.
Did you have a cane, like a walking stick? Did you have a cane?
Were you there? Because I actually did have a walking stick and a cane. So you must have actually
hallelujah, you ain't lying. Or Jerry going to have to trade a family member to get that done.
Maybe back in the day.
Poopa D.
No, I'm a change man.
Well, Coach,
Poopa D said if we cut Elam, we go to the Super Bowl.
They were actually in your house. More animal control.
All right, let me speed past this owl story.
But this comment about oil and gas, I could be fixing the defense. Fans are pretty ticked off, saying this shows it's not 100% commitment. Your reaction to Jerry's comments?
You know, I did hear the comments, and again, to me, I understand why fans might get worked up about that, but I will say this: I mean, like, shoot, we sit down every Monday, every Friday. Myself, the coordinators, Jerry, Steven, Jerry Jr. I mean, we have such lengthy conversations, and Jerry and Steven and I talk almost every day by phone as well. And at the end of the day, I can promise you one thing: no one wants to win more than Jerry Jones, and it's our job to go out there and do that. So that's what we're focused on. And again, we're excited about the opportunity to come back home to AT&T and play the Cardinals on Monday night.
So
I'm telling y'all, I can understand why some people say what they say, but I don't agree with it. I don't agree with Jerry don't want to win. Jerry wants to win his way. Now, that's a whole different conversation. Jerry wants to win his way. I could understand where you can consider that Jerry don't want to win if he want to win his way. But Jerry wants to win his way. And Brian is saying, man, we meet. Nobody wants to win more than Jerry. And I'm telling y'all, man, people, we'll see what happens on Tuesday. But Jerry has been out here, man. He's been beating the pavement trying to bring in that big fish. We'll see if he's going to be able to reel it in. Little D Texas said, Devil probably sent Jerry back for not clearly explaining how he got to hell. Hey, Little D, let me tell you something. I don't even think that's the case. I think he'd tell him, you've been here before. You remember what you told me? You told me if I gave you a third Super Bowl, you never asked for nothing else? And here you back for something else? Man. Kippy, what up? He said cut Elam and Diggs and release the guy who we got from Tennessee, Murray. He's terrible. He said, how in the world how he gonna be a green dot when he can't? Standing ovation. Standing ovations. Let me tell you something. This has to be one of the single worst moves the Cowboys made was Murray. I'd love to know who idea that was. I told y'all yesterday, one of the biggest problems when you start talking about these players, and just like we're talking about today, I mean, who bought this player to Jerry? And I told y'all yesterday, and I told you before, Matt Eberflus' defense is predicated on linebackers with gap containment. Predicated upon it. If those linebackers don't have gap integrity, the defense is trash. And Murray is terrible. Kippy, his green dot must don't work because he's not ever on the play. Yeah, man. Hey, Poopa D, that's why I said, who made that move? I guarantee you ain't nobody claiming that, man. Ain't nobody claiming that. Mose Logan, he said Steven is calling the shots. My uncle has always said this. Jerry is the face of what we're watching. We're going to see what's going on when Jerry gets out of the way. And it sounds like to me somebody mentioned it earlier. Brian said something that's got my spidey senses tingling. He said Jerry Jones Jr. is in a lot of those conversations. Shoot. You think they tight now? You just wait.
Your time spent with Jerry as the GM is pretty much the same as you've seen in other organizations. There's nothing that unconventional about it with his title and all the other things he has going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, it's probably hour and a half, 2 hour meeting on Monday, probably a 45-minute hour meeting touching base on Fridays, getting ready for games, and the communication is very strong. And of course, we've got a great staff along with what we're trying to do. And my conversations with those guys, including Will McClay, is daily. And I think that's important. And again, the only way I know how to work is with open lines of communication. And it's always been that way from day one.
Coach, some people think, the Cardinals are trying to play some games with Kyler's availability and working out other quarterbacks. I'm not asking you about that specifically. What I'd like to ask you about is take us behind the extra prep time. We know you're not going to answer specific, injury questions. Is this guy play?
Of course not.
What does that do in terms of, more added prep time or another headache when there's a little bit of a question, a lot of a question in terms of the CIA world of the NFL and talking about injuries? How does that affect your prep time?
Well, first of all, again, Bobby, you can call me later. I'll give you all the good news. I'll give you all the information.
What the hell?
Yeah. Just you got the numbers.
Yeah,
so
we'll
give me a
catch
shout.
up.
But
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I think here's the big deal is like you never know. And so like we've had a good first couple days. So we kept Wednesday the same and yesterday the same, which is Wednesday was first, second down. Yesterday it was third down. Today we're doing kind of a review of first, second, and third down because that's the biggest percentage of the game is dealing with normal down and distance and third downs, and we'll do a little review of that, and then we'll get the guys out of here, and then they'll be back in tomorrow. And tomorrow's like a normal Friday for us. And but the biggest thing for us, again, our focus right now is on, okay, what do we need to do better? And there's clearly a number of things we need to do better on both sides of the ball and special teams. And so this extra day gives us a chance to really focus in on getting some more walkthrough reps and really cleaning up the communication and the details. Because at the end of the day, when we play well and we play consistent, we're pretty damn good. And then when we don't, then we're not going to have a chance to win as many games. And that's why I think we find ourselves where we are right now. It's the inconsistency of the execution, the inconsistency of the coaching. And again, we got to get it turned around. And we're kind of viewing this game, guys, like a one-game season. And it's not because it's the last game, surely, but we always do. But it's the game before the bye, and we'd love to go into the bye sitting at 4-4-1.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on 105 through the Fan. Coach, do you think there was anything about that Denver game specifically that you'll see other teams try to borrow against your offense or scheme against your offense with the rest of the year?
No. That's the Carolina Panthers scheme. People looked at what the Carolina Panthers did, or at least I believe Denver looked at what the Carolina Panthers did to the Cowboys. Other teams, man, I'm sorry, everybody's been looking at what everybody's been doing. But I really think the Panthers were the ones who really exposed the Cowboys' run game. I think a run defense. First, it was the Jets. The Jets had half a quarter where they did damage, and then Carolina came back and just did damage. I don't even know if you call it damage. They obliterated us. And then the Denver Broncos just came and stepped on the ashes. That's what we saw. The Cowboys it's simple what they've been doing to the Cowboys. They're doubling the defensive tackles. They're doubling the defensive tackles, and because of the rotations the Cowboys are running, they know they can beat Sam Williams one-on-one. They know they can beat Dante Fowler one-on-one. They know they can beat people one-on-one as long as they can get past those tackles. This is some of the stuff that we're watching. No, it ain't them. I think Carolina, it started a little bit with the Jets, but the Carolina Panthers, them boys came in and exploited us.
I don't know. I think, we certainly left some plays out there that we didn't make, didn't capitalize. I think that, again, there's certainly some plays I'd like to have, back that I called. But again, I think this is a copycat league. Everybody looks at people, and when you slow down an offense that's as explosive as ours, I think that there'll be people that study the film. But what's really interesting, guys, is like if you're a four-down defense, really mostly you study our opponents that play us four down. If you're a 3-4 defense, you study people that play 3-4, and that's why, because each scheme offensively, you have things that you want to feature against 3-4 family, trees, the Vic Fangios, the Philadelphias, things like that, and then the four-down tree. So I do think teams will look at it, but it's going to be more so the teams that play four down.
Coach, Jerry had mentioned earlier in the week and has been said before that he expects that you're going to increase your time during the week with the defensive staff, moving forward. If you're increasing your time with the defensive staff during the week, why shouldn't that be viewed as a lack of confidence in the job that Matt Eberflus has done?
Well, I think number one is
it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
It's that we all realize we have not played well enough or consistently enough on on either side of the ball. The defense obviously has struggled at times this year. We know that. We own that. And my job as the head coach is to do things to go in and solve problems. And again, it's got nothing to do with the confidence in what we're trying to do or what our players can do. It's going in there and saying, okay, let's get another voice and someone that's been around football a long time. I've got the expertise on the offensive side of the ball. I can communicate things that cause problems for us. And it's not about pointing blame. It's not about any of that. It's about getting the damn thing fixed. And that's what our focus is right now, is getting it fixed. I sense the frustration with our players. I sense the frustration with our defensive staff. So therefore, I understand the frustration with the fans. But we're the ones that can solve it. The fans can't. And it starts with me, and me going in and sitting in meetings and asking some very strong and direct questions is a good way for us to make sure we're all on the same page.
This is why I give Brian Schottenheimer a lot of credit. Brian Schottenheimer is trying his hardest. He really is. He's trying his hardest. He's coaching his butt off. I mean, my concern is, are they burning him at both ends? That's my concern. I mean, this dude is calling plays, putting a game plan together. Then he's spending time in the defensive room. This dude is burning the candle at both ends, man. I'm worried that he's going to get – I'm worried they're going to burn him out.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on The Fan. So, Coach, where do you think – because the defense has taken its lumps. Let's look at it, I guess, a little bit silver lining instead. Where do you think the defense has improved from week one to now? What do you like that your defense is doing right now?
Nowhere.
Well, I do think that, again, it's a hard question to answer because it comes and goes. But, like, we're at our best guys when we're affecting the quarterback, right? We affected Jaden Daniels. We affected Justin Fields, right? When we're not getting pressure on the quarterback, then guess what? We're not very good, because winning and owning the line of scrimmage is the second part of our football mantra. And the weeks that we've played very poorly, really on both.
Kippy, I think you asked a good question. Mo said Osa has disappeared this season. Yeah, he has. He says, why Fluke's not stunting then? Loops and zags. Is he a complete idiot or has a hard time adapting and has changed, which also makes him an idiot? Kippy, let me tell you something. I made this comment the other day. Matt Eberflus finds himself in a very precarious situation. Because if he changes up the entire defense, it's no longer his defense. We know what this man's defense is. We know what it is. He comes from that Rod Marinelli tree. I don't understand why people act like this is one of the greatest defensive trees ever. Comes from the Rod Marinelli tree. Doesn't like to blitz. Likes to rush 4, drop 7. He likes to keep it very basic and very simple. And his scheme is based off of high IQ athletes. Let me translate what that means. That means that those players, you're going to pay some money. You need some super studs. You need some absolute super studs. We don't have the super studs on defense. We don't. We just don't have the super studs. Name me one super stud. I might could name you maybe 3 that we can maybe put in that category. Kenny Clark, also Digizua, Deron Bland. Donovan Azaraku is going to be one of them, and probably should be classified as one of them. Jadeveon Clowney is getting back in that shape. Solomon Thomas has played like a stud. He's not getting this crazy rotation they have going on. James Houston has played very well. But in the grand scheme of things, who's the super stud the Cowboys have on defense? Who's the high IQ linebacker? Overshown is coming back. That'll be him. They're hoping Savon Revel is going to be that corner to go with Bland. But the reality is, like I said, I just feel like we're arguing for this man and we're arguing against him. And I think Matt Eberflus, man, we might ought to really be thinking about this. Matt Eberflus may be showing the Cowboys who can and can't play in that system. Maybe that's why he won't change it. Oh, I forgot about Shamar James, Tatiana. I like Shamar James. Maurice Leofau might be borderline. But for the most part, man, we struggling with these players. And again, maybe this is why Matt isn't changing the system. Maybe they're saying if they can't play in the system, they're not going to be here next year. There are a lot of moving parts to why this Cowboys defense is bad. And I keep going back to it was bad last year with Mike Zimmer. It was bad with Zimmer with some of these players. It was bad. It was. It got better towards the end, but again, better is relative. You go from being a hot, stinking mess to just a stinking mess. It's relative. They still couldn't win some of the games when they needed to. Last year either. Even when Michael Parsons got healthy. Couldn't do it. So the defense has been bad for 2 years. Third defensive coordinator, and the question is it Matt Eberflus or is it the players? Shoot, Mose, you better say it. Man, Damone Clark is a ghost. Damone Clark couldn't get on the field with Mike Zimmer, and now he's struggling with Matt Eberflus. Kip said, so Flus is another JJ ego that is unacceptable to change. Hey, Kippy, again, I just wonder if they're all in agreement on this. That we want these guys to get this system because Matt Eberflus is going to be here next year. And if they can't get the system, they won't be here next year. I wonder if this is the message they're sending.
Both sides of the ball.
Because I agree with you. I do think he should be making adjustments. If it were me, I would make the adjustments and just say, next year we're gonna do something different. But just for the sake of winning games, I got to do what's best for this team to win.
In weeks that we've struggled up front, and that's, again, Carolina, they kicked our ass at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then, again,
doubled your tackles.
This past week, Denver got after us pretty good, but
obliterated your tackles.
We've shown the ability to hit the quarterback, sack the quarterback, and that's where, again, we need to continue to do that. It's going to be no different this week with Arizona and Kyler,
Tatiana. He was good, but they let him go.
And run, but it all starts up front in football, and certainly in pro football, and that's where, again, we need to make the biggest strides from a consistency standpoint.
Coach, Bill Parcells, when he was here, famously said, "I don't coach penalties." Y'all are top 5 in pre-snap, and I think number 2 in overall. Philosophically,
now. Watch this. You see why there is something fundamentally wrong here. We led the league we were at the bottom of the league in penalties when Mike McCarthy was here. And here we are again at the bottom of the league in penalties. What is going on with that? What is going on with that? How in the world are you struggling with penalties again? Bama Boy said, gee, we talk about our players when they go somewhere else, like, where was this here? It happens every time. Yep. Bama Boy, we've seen it. I'm telling us, man. I'm telling us. I'm preparing myself. Mozzie Smith going to go somewhere else, and he's going to be great. Cowboys wind up letting go of Jaden Blue. He'll go somewhere and be great. There are quite a few players that we've let go of. They go on other places, and they're great. Happens all the time. Kimmy said, can we cut Clark and Murray? No, we keeping Kenny Clark. Yeah, we keeping Kenny Clark. I think Kenny Clark is great. You just got to look at the film on him, man. They've been tearing him up, double and triple teaming him even. Yeah, James Houston, we got to stop this rotation nonsense, Robert. Poobie D, yeah, we got the end of Fowler, boy. You ain't lying.
Do you believe that penalties, you don't coach penalties, that it's not on the coaches, that it's more on the players, or
no discipline? You're right.
Instance by instance.
No,
And Poobie D, and let's think about what you just said. No discipline. what would that discipline be? What would the discipline be? Because for me, that discipline would be, you're going to sit your butt down this week, and then we're going to let you come back next week. And if you're doing the same stuff, we ain't going to sit your butt down. We're going to cut you. That's what discipline would be to me. I would just, I love the stuff Jimmy used to do. Jimmy kept people on notice. I'll cut you. Shoot, Jimmy kept people on notice. I'll cut you. Shoot, Jimmy tell you in a minute, go to the asthma field. Boy, this dude, Jimmy was different, man. How do you discipline players? I mean, they're grown men. How do you discipline them? Chanel has already made a great point on this Tampa 2. That Tampa 2 is tough, man. I mean, you gotta be great players on this Tampa 2. We don't have those players. And even when he's ran some, and I agree with you on the stunts, even when he's ran some blitzes, I think one of the problems is, too, they hadn't gotten there. But again, hey, Kippy, let's see what happens this week. Denver Broncos pretty doggone good. Maybe this time against the doggone Cardinals. Maybe this time. Maybe, hey, so they said there was going to be a change. We're 1-1 with that change. We beat the Commanders. We lost to the Broncos. Let's see if we win against the doggone Cardinals. That's me, Ron Hanna. Best 11 on defense right there. Right there. Terry Tatum said Bill Parcells, you charge players $25. These players need to be charged $2,500. Yeah, Damone Clark got to go. Jaden Justin, Jimmy had people leave camp because camp was hell. And at some point, you got to discipline these guys because that's my issue. How do you discipline these grown men? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt, Tatiana. I think they're going to keep Javonte. No doubt. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Cowboys might extend Javonte Williams. They might give him like a 2-year deal, which is a 1-year deal. Because I think the back that Brian Schottenheimer picked, I think the back that he picked is our back that's on injured reserve, Phil Maffa. You want to talk about a Brian Schottenheimer back? Phil Maffa is a Brian Schottenheimer back. Dude is 234 pounds. Man, if the Cowboys can never get this guy going, he's going to be a monster. Shoot, Mo said he tired of Sam Williams. Man, he all talk, no show. That dude said people better get ready. Well, they must have been ready. Junior said fans need to relax. This is an install defense. It will take time. I think this is where we are too. Flu system works, but it requires discipline. Discipline and high IQ players and athletes. You have to keep your assignment. This group doesn't lack talent. It lacks discipline. I like that, Junior. Problem is, how do you make them be disciplined? I think this is where they're struggling.
I always start with the coaches. That's just the way I am. I start with me, quite honestly, guys. I start with me. And, penalties are part of the game, okay? But, again, I'm going to break it down this way, right? The combative penalties should happen. I want our guys playing on the edge, man. I want our guys playing physical. I want our guys playing through the echo of the whistle. I want guys finishing, through piles and taking guys to the ground with violence. I do want that. What I don't want is us lining up off sides on third down when we're off the field, and then because of something so simple as lining up off sides, we have to go back out on the field and they get a conversion on third down and they go down and score a touchdown. Or conversely, we're down on the 1 yard line and we jump. Now, is that just the players? No, it's not just the players. It's the coaches making sure we're staying on the details during practice. And is it as simple as a coach yelling, "Hey, back up"? Yeah, sometimes it is. So it's always going to start with me. Then it goes to the coaches, but certainly the players have to take their responsibility as well. And because it does hurt your ability to win, guys.
Brian Schottenheimer joined us here at 105.3 The Fan. I wanted to ask you about Tyler Guyton. During the games, I know you're not on social media during the games, but there's a lot of discourse about him and his development. Where are you with his development? Are you a little disappointed in how he hasn't come along as fast as he should have?
there's high standards and high expectations for Tyler, and I get that. Here's a first-round draft pick. What I would remind everybody of is this is an incredibly talented young man. It does take a while for this to come together. I'll share with you quickly before I get back to it. We drafted DeBrickshaw Ferguson my first or second year, I guess, in New York, and after 1 year, literally we thought Brick was going to be a total bust. Like literally, we're like, there's a guy by the name of Jason Trusnick, undrafted defensive end that every day in practice would run around DeBrickshaw Ferguson, and we were literally like, oh my God, what have we done? Oh, this is terrible. Oh my God. And then literally now DeBrickshaw sits in the Ring of Honor at the New York Jets. It takes time, and you're talking about a guy that was on defense for a while, then he played right tackle. He's moved to left tackle. He hasn't had really a entire full training camp yet because of the knee this year, the illness 2 years ago. Just he's talented. He wants to be great. He's being worked on. And, again, he's going to get there, and it's our job to help him get there. But, again, you got to be patient, especially when you're talking about a left tackle in the National Football League. You're going up against war daddies every freaking week.
I'll be honest with you on this conversation about Tyler Guyton. There are certain positions to me. Excuse me. There are certain positions to me that when you draft them in the first round, you're not expecting a 2-year window of they need 2 years to get where they need to be. When you bring in a left tackle to start on your team, the expectations to me is you draft him in the first round, he is supposed to be already mauling folk. No, I want him mauling folk. No, I want his development to be elite development. His fundamentals, I want his feet right, his hands right. I want him immediately coming in, as they're saying, I want him to immediately come in and start competing with quote-unquote war daddies. No, I don't get a guy in the first round and then say, yeah, he's going to get there. No. Same thing with Mozzie. Now, if you telling me you drafting him and you want him to develop and he's not going to start, but if you draft him and you immediately bring him in to start, I'm expecting more. I'm expecting a whole lot more. Cowboys, I think, might have Guyton out of place. They may have Guyton out of place. Guyton may actually be a right tackle, and they need to go in there and get them a pure left tackle. And as much as I like Nate Thomas, late round draft pick, I'm bringing in another first round draft pick to compete with him. I'm not settling. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not settling on left tackle. I want the best of the best at left tackle. I really do.
There's a gambling scandal that's really hit sports, baseball, NBA. Have y'all had discussions with the players about like the importance of not getting involved in that and staying away, or is that something that you just don't talk about with them?
No, I mean, again, the NFLPA, they do a great job. They send out a bunch of emails and memos and things like that. But no, I mean, again, I know the culture of the guys that we have and the type of character we have in the guys. But again, I understand why it's such a hot topic in sports circles today.
All right, last one, non-Cowboys question here. This is the $1,000 question, really. Are you aware of the Brian Schottenheimer bounty?
Well, first of all, do I get the $1,000 if I answer correctly, or does somebody else?
No, we get it.
We would get it.
We would get it.
Oh.
We would get it.
Okay, well, no, but I'm scared, so please tell me what it is. I'm a little bit scared.
Okay, so this was on a Barstool podcast, and a guy I believe is a former teammate of yours on that non-undefeated national title you won at Florida.
Say it again. I didn't hear. What was our record? I can't remember.
I think you had a one loss. You had one loss. You avenged it. You avenged it though. Later that year.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But Andy Staples. Do you know where I'm going with this? By the way, no idea.
I really don't. I'm fascinated. I'm on the edge of my seat.
When you were at Georgia, he said, I bounty on this. He wants to know why you started Fatan Bauta against Florida when you were.
All right, I appreciate that, but I'm not really interested in those stories with Brian Schottenheimer. Not really interested in those. Man, it's time for the Cowboys Cardinals preview. Boy, we're about to spend some time on this today. J Dog, welcome to the congregation. My fix for the Cowboys to save this season: win. Continue to do what you've been doing at home. Put up 40 points against the Arizona Cardinals. Jerry Jones goes into in the trade deadline. See if he can land. If I'm the Cowboys, because they need more than one player, I would still consider bringing in Stephon Gilmore. I just think he helps solidify your secondary. I'm moving Marquise Bell too. But let me tell you something, man. The Cowboys need a safety probably too, because Wanye Thomas, man, we might not be seeing Wanye Thomas no more. Y'all might not understand. Now, I'm not a migraine person, but when I tell you migraines are serious, they are serious business, and they are nothing to play with, and this dude is 2 weeks into migraines, man, this may be something neurological. The Cowboys may have to think about what they're going to do as safety. But I think in order for the Cowboys, if their defense was going to get better, I think they need 4 players. I think they need one more edge. And I'm talking about a show-enough edge, not just a body. I wouldn't mind another defensive tackle, but I think they could do without the defensive tackle. I just think what their issue is that their edges are not aggressive enough yet, so they're doubling them down there in the tackle position. They got to get somebody that can make up for that and take advantage of doubling those tackles, because that's what Jadeveon Clowney was talking about. He knows the importance of having those tackles, because if they can tie up 2 blocks, Chanel's already mentioned it. Well, when you get an edge rusher one-on-one, they ought to be able to win it. But I do think the Cowboys, if they can get Miles or Max, I think it would be great. I think they need another very good linebacker. I think they need a corner, and I think they need a safety. Because the defense is where they got to fix everything. The offense needs tweaking. The defense needs fixing. And you're talking about 4 players, and that still don't guarantee a fix, but I think it gets better. And I would lean on Matt Eberflus. I don't understand what kind of power this man has, but I would lean on Matt Eberflus, and I would tell him, bro, you're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to make some changes and simplify this thing to a point to where we can get some stops. But it's going to be tough. Yeah, Chanel, I'm telling you, the Denver Broncos outcoached the Cowboys. They really did. They outcoached. All right, let's see here. Yeah. Hey, Primal, my wife had them. I'm telling you, man, that stuff is, man. Yeah, we're in a situation. Kippy said we have to get a DN and a linebacker. Yeah, I think this is one of the main reasons why Flu's defense isn't working. The linebackers. Our man Overshown's going to help him, but the Cowboys need to get another one. They need to get another one. They do. They need to get another linebacker. Mo said, I think Tobin in that trade package doesn't sound like they're going to do it. Doesn't sound like they're going to do it. PS, who on our PS that should be playing now? Not sure what PS means. Yeah, Mo's Rex Ryan hasn't coached since 2016. I'm not sure if Rex is the answer for what we got going on right now. I think they should have picked Rex Ryan at the beginning. But I'm going to say it again. If the Cowboys don't fire Matt Eberflus on Tuesday, there's no point. There's no point. Because there's nobody going to come in here and get this thing fixed like the people may want. All right. Man, let's get into this. It is that time. Let me pull up my info I've collected here. It is that time, Cowboy fans. All right, let me see. Man, in fact, hold on. Let me pull this. I want to run a preview show from something else. Hold on a second. All right, let's see if we can run it from here. All righty. Week 9. Dallas Cowboys preview. Cardinals versus the Cowboys. Oh, practice squad. Got you. Kevin Edwards, what up with you? Chanel, I said it. You need 2 good linebackers. They need another one. And they probably going to have to get another safety. I would love to bring in Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think I think Deron Bland is okay. We'll see what Savon Revel Jr. is. Yeah, that's it. He can't take advantage of the double team, Kevin Edwards. He can't. All right, man, let's get into this Dallas Cowboys preview show. Let's go. So, these are the storylines. These are the storylines of this game. These are the storylines I came up with. And I think this is a huge storyline. Kyler Murray has never lost at Texas Stadium. Kyler Murray, to my knowledge, has never lost at Texas Stadium. What do the Cowboys do about that? Never lost at Texas Stadium. What do we do? Next up, Cowboys are different at home. Cowboys are different at home. Davion Wallace, what up? He said the score gonna be 41-28. Davion Wallace, boy, what do you see my score? You stay tuned. You stay tuned, Davion Wallace. Next storyline. Let's see if Clayton Adams responds differently than everybody else that's had the revenge game. Javonte, he failed in his revenge game. Matt Eberflus, he failed in his revenge game. White Cotton, he got revenge. Will Clayton Adams get revenge as he plays the Cardinals? And the way we're going to tell is in his run game. Matt Eberflus, 1-1 after adjustments. Will Matt Eberflus make adjustments for this game? And will they be able to beat the Cardinals? And Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals are trying to play games with the Dallas Cowboys. Jacoby Brissett, I think they said, took most of the snaps either today or yesterday. Kyler Murray is playing against the Dallas Cowboys. There is no doubt in my mind. Next storyline. Cowboys reestablished the run because they were terrible against the Broncos. Will they reestablish the run? And then Dak gets back on track for the MVP bid. Let me tell you something. Dak Prescott is the only quarterback I know that gets pummeled for a bad game. I mean, gets absolutely pummeled. Baker Mayfield can have 2 games. He's still in it. Lamar Jackson. I mean, Josh Allen still in it. I mean, Justin Herbert's had bad games. I mean, Dak Prescott is the only one that gets this penalty. Again, let me tell you something. I caught what Shotty said. Shotty said you can take those stats, but let me tell you something. No, you can't. No, you can't take them stats and shove them anywhere. You know why? Because the stats are telling you a part of the game. And if I look at those stats of the Cowboys on the road, Shotty, they're telling me something. They're telling me that you're not good on the road. We got to stop thinking the stats are bad. No, you just need stats with the context of the game. The stats will tell you, if you look at the game and see the stats, you can explain the stats. And the stats are simple. Y'all look different on the road, and y'all got spanked in that Denver Broncos game. That's what the stats show. And you need those stats to match the game so we know the whole picture. But again, Dak gets back on track for the MVP bid. Injury report. Diggs, they are saying, is going to see a neurologist so that Diggs I don't know if this means he gets back on the field. This is what they're saying. I'm struggling with this part because I don't think the Cowboys should put him back on the field. Especially if he's got a clause in his contract that if he gets hurt, the Cowboys have to pay that contract out full. No, don't do it. This is the Cowboys Friday. This is the Cowboys Friday injury report. This is what's being reported. Cowboys have on the injury report, let me see. Cowboys have on the injury report, looks like the punter has something going on, got an illness, did not practice. Clark, the safety, did not practice. Sanborn, unfortunately, did not practice. Donovan Wilson did not practice. Johnny Cornelius, Overshown, Savon, well, let's say Overshown, Savon Revel Jr., they're not ready this week. Tyler Smith limited, but he'll be out there. Wanye Thomas, migraine. I don't think he's playing. He's got something going on. Perion Winfrey has hit the 21-day window. I'm not sure. I don't think he's playing. You'll notice you don't see, well, Cooper BB is on here full practice. Kenny Clark, Marshawn Nealon, Reddy Stewart, all full practice. So this is kind of where the Cowboys are. We'll see what happens at game time. Looking over here at the Cardinals. Cardinals injury report. They're not saying a whole lot, but Kyler Murray, I believe, is playing. Kyler Murray is playing, and they're trying to play games with the Cowboys. Full participant you see here with Beachum, Crawford limited, the Mercado limited. They got a lot of limited people, but as far as I know, they're playing. Kyler Murray limited foot, he's playing. That's the injury report for the game. So it looks like everybody's pretty much good to go. But no Sanborn is hurting the Cowboys. For as bad as Sanborn has been, they have been terrible since he's been out with the run. They've been terrible. Chanel said out of the fake MVP candidates, Dak is the only true MVP without a good defense. All other fake MVPs step aside. Facts. Yeah, Davion Wallace said our run should be able to be a monster since Adams should know all the weaknesses of the Cards D. And I think he's going for it too. If Winfrey was playing, I think he could help us with the pass rush and also against the run. But I don't think he's playing yet. Yeah, Britt, I put on here, Jacoby Brissett took the majority of the snaps. Kyler Murray is going to play. Now, when you look at the offensive comparison between these two teams, they're not even in the same category with the Cowboys. But, there is a but. They're playing against our defense. Yards per play, 4.9. Cowboys, we got the number 2 offense in the league right now, currently behind the Colts. That Denver Broncos game kind of did us in. Cowboys, 6.6 yards a play. The Cardinals are 4.9 yards a play. Cowboys, 4.478 points per play. The Cardinals don't score a lot of points, 0.347. Rush play percentage, we do 40. They basically do 40. Pass play percentage, we're about the same. We're just more successful. Completion percentage, 67 versus 70. Third down conversion percentage, they are at 45. We're at 43. Red zone percentage, we're at 64. They're at 56. These offenses are not even in the same stratosphere. Problem is they're playing our defense. We've made pretty much every quarterback this season, with the exception of Justin Fields, look good this year. Offensive position comparison. Cowboys are better, at least to me. I would assume. Y'all tell me if you see anything different. But I think the Cowboys are better at every situation. Cowboys are better at quarterback, better at running back, better at wide receiver, better at O-line. Tight end, you know what? This McBride dude, we're going to talk about him in a moment. This dude is pretty good for the Cardinals. But I say in totality, the Cowboys may be better at tight end. I say as far as the offense goes, the coach, offense coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer's play calling, I'm taking them. Cliff Kingsbury's pretty good. But I'm taking the Cowboys coaching staff in totality as far as the offense goes. Overall, the Cowboys are better. But again, the Cardinals are playing our defense. Chanel said, G, make this Diggs situation on live make sense. They said first he had a concussion. Then he had knee problems. Now he's going to see a neurologist. Only time you see a neuro consult is for a bleed in the head. Nothing about the Trayvon Diggs stuff makes sense. The Cowboys even reporting now he may even need surgery after the season. Oliver Holmes, he said, thank you, G. He said, thanks for keeping us informed on them Cowboys. Let's go. Hopefully the Cowboys can win some way, somehow. I think they're going to win. JD says, sounds like an injury settlement for Diggs. Hey, J-Dog, or worse. They're just going to sit him down and just let him get all his money. Bottom line. Defensive stat comparison. This is where everything falls apart. Cowboys are the worst overall defense in the league, if I'm not mistaken. 5.2 yards per play with the Cardinals. Opponents' points per play, 0.344. They're going to give up some points. Opponents' completion percentage, we're going to have a high completion percentage. Opponents' third down percentage. I mean, we do very well on these things. Opponents' red zone percentage, we're better. Problem is, the reason why I put them all in green. And I'm sorry, actually, I should have had this all in white. The Cowboys are better going against teams. But our overall defense is still, they're playing us. I mean, our defense is better than theirs, but their offense playing our defense is going to be bad. But we have the worst overall defense in the league. It's bad. And again, I'm sorry. This is why it is all in green. We're giving up 6.2 yards per play. Let me get myself together. We're giving up a whopping 6.2 yards per play. We're giving up 0.48 points per play. Opponent's completion percentage is 68.54. Opponent's third down percentage on us is 52.43. Opponent's red zone percentage on us is 68.75. And some of this third down conversion percentage against us is actually skewed. It's skewed because we don't even let some of these teams get to third down. They don't even get to third down on us. They don't. We're a disaster. We're a disaster defensively. And when you start digging into some of these deeper numbers, we're a disaster. We are absolutely a disaster. When you look at us defensively, points per game, 31. Yards per game, 31. Points per play, man. Man, we are in bad shape. Hold on a second. Yeah, we in bad shape defensively. We all offense, y'all. Point blank. 31 points per play. 31 yards per game. 31 opponents' points per play. Yards per play. Look at this, 31. Opponents' third down conversion with 32. Opponents' fourth down conversion with number 5. Nobody's going. Let me tell you, this number is skewed. The reason why this number is at number 5 is there's not a lot of teams having to go for it on fourth down on us. We're number 28 in opponents' red zone scoring. They're scoring on us at will. Opponents' touchdowns, we're ranked 31. We're giving up 3.8 yards per game. Defense is bad, man. Defense is bad. And then when you look at us on the offensive side of the ball, it's insanity. Look. Points per game, 2. Yards per game, 2. Points per play, 3. Yards per play, 4. Third down conversion, 8. Fourth down conversion, 6. Red zone scoring, 11. Touchdowns per game, number 4. Wow. Hallelujah. We could put me, you, and 9 others out here. And I'm telling you, we're scoring on them. Hallelujah. We putting Tatiana at the quarterback. We're scoring on the Cowboys. We're scoring on the Cowboys. I don't care what we put together. And I'm going to be the worst player of everybody. And we still scoring on them. Cowboys defense is bad, man. Bad. That's all I can tell you. It's bad. Arizona, you look at the rushing game over here. Arizona rush play percentage, they're at about 40%. The opponents run on them about 45% of the time. I think we're gonna run on them a lot. They don't rank as bad as we do. We're terrible. When you look at them 6, 14, 12, 12, 19, I mean we're just bad, man. Now I do think we're gonna be able to do some things against them as far as throwing the ball. I think we're gonna be able to do some things against them. Dallas versus Arizona passing 10, 5, 15, 3, 1, 16, and 2. Yeah, we're gonna be able to do some things on them offensively. But our defense is the great equalizer. For as much as we're going to put up probably 40 points on them again, because we scored 40 points every game at home this season, Arizona's going to still put up points on us too. Yeah, James Starks, it's no other way to explain it. Man, worst defense in history. At least I know Cowboys history. Man. Shoot, Dominique, boy, you that, man. Man, you do Kyrie Elam up, man. Elam wouldn't have a chance against you. You would do Elam absolutely up. I'm telling you. This dude, Elam, man. And maybe Elam just don't play well in zone. Maybe that's one of the problems. But again, boy, our defense, we're the worst defense in the league. Defensive position comparison. I couldn't think of a place. I'm sorry, I didn't update this. Hold on. Let me update this part. I forgot today. I don't think there is a place where we're better. I don't think there's a place where we're better than the Denver Broncos. I mean, Denver Broncos. I don't think there's a place we're better than the Arizona Cardinals defensively. I don't think there's a place. All right, let's get past that slide. So, let's look at the defensive keys. Oh, I'm sorry, the keys. The key matchups. I'm sorry, I created a new slide today. The key matchups. The key matchups that we need to watch out for. Key matchups we need to watch out for. Lambs and Pickens against the Arizona secondary. The Cowboys should absolutely eat. Oh, J-Dog, he said he was glad to be gone. Tony Pollard said he was at a peace of mind being away from the Cowboys. Said it was too much. That's one of the reasons why I know the Cowboys wouldn't bring him back. At least I don't think they would. Lambs and Pickens against the Arizona secondary, they should eat. Now, Chanel, I don't know if you were privy to this. Tell me what you think. There was a discussion online today. People are talking about Cowboys playing against this quarters defense and how you can't get over the top of it, and that the Cowboys are going to have to do a lot of things underneath. I still say the Cowboys are going to eat on the Carolina Panthers defense. I think they're going to absolutely eat. Key matchup, also, Eberflus against Kyler Murray's Eberflus's defense against Kyler Murray. We have seen continuously where the Cowboys refuse to put spies on quarterbacks. Well, this dude, Kyler Murray, is a problem. Kyler Murray is a problem because they say this dude is 5'9". Man, I'm telling you, Dominique, I think we may be giving this dude a couple of inches. Oh, you said you 5'8" and you gonna mouse him. Oh, yeah, you definitely mousing Elam. Kyler Murray, I don't even think Kyler Murray is, they say he's 5'10". I don't believe it. I think Kyler Murray is somewhere around 5'7". But he is a quick, fast food, and the Cowboys going to have their hands full. Deron Bland versus Marvin Harrison Jr. is a matchup to watch. Cowboys defensive backs versus Trey McBride. Trey McBride is the linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals. He pretty doggone good. Cowboys going to have their hands full. Also, Cowboys D-line versus Cardinals O-line. Teams have been doubling our defensive tackles. Will the Cardinals do it? And will they be successful at doing it? Offensive keys to winning this game. The Cowboys are going to have to reestablish the run with Javonte Williams. They got to reestablish the run with Javonte Williams. Dak Prescott has got to get back to being Dak Prescott. I'm very concerned about Matt Eberflus spending so much time in the defensive room. And I think it hurt him last week. We'll see what happens this week. Dak's got to get back to being Dak. And Shotty's got to call a great game. I think the Cowboys need to feed George Pickens. They do need to take some deep shots. Cowboys need to be patient. Take underneath on those quarters if that's what they're going to give them. Take it. Cowboys are going to have to exploit the mismatches better. They didn't do it last week. They need some aggressive play calling like they typically do at home. And I'm telling us, in order for the Cowboys to win this game, I think they need to score 40 points. I think they need to score 40 points. Poobie D, this is fact. Every time the ball is in the air, I know it's a completion. Facts. Facts. James Stark said, I don't understand why we never spot a quarterback. I don't understand it either. And there are games that we know we need to do it. Kyler Murray, they need to do it. Dominique said, I'd trade for Budda Baker. I get he's not what he used to be, but he's better than what we got in the secondary. Dominique, Budda Baker is an all-pro compared to anything we got back there. Chanel said to beat quarters, you can target the flats with the yeah. That's what I was just saying. They got to take the underneath stuff on the quarters. To beat the quarters defense, you can target the flats with the short, quick passes, run play action to get safeties to bite, or use route combinations that stretch the deep middle of the field. Yep. Like that, Chanel. Appreciate it. Like that. Let's see. Next thing up with the Cowboys. Run the ball 10 to 15 times with Jaden Blue. But I don't think the Cowboys need to try to run Jaden Blue inside anymore. Establish this run game with Javonte Williams again. I'm still looking for that game for Javonte Williams to run 25 plus times with a $150. Hunter Lipke at fullback again. Minimal penalties by the Cowboys. Penalties are killing the Cowboys. It destroyed them in that game against Denver. Cowboys have got to win the turnover battle again. I'd like to see Malik Davis this week in the run game. Yeah, I'd like to see Malik Davis in the run game. He seems to be the kind of running back, if he wants to spell Javonte Williams to run between the tackles, I'd like to see Malik Davis doing that. Cowboys again win time possession, score touchdowns, explosive plays to Turpin. Turpin has been a non-factor as far as the plays he's been making. He maybe he's taken some people out of some plays, but he hasn't been doing hardly any of the stuff that we've been expecting. I'd like to see the Cowboys incorporate Jaden Blue into the passing game, and I would like to see the Cowboys get them shots to George Pickens deep. Defensive keys. I'm praying before I say what I say about the defense. This defense is so bad. If they get 4 defensive stops, the Cowboys win this game. All we need from the defense is 4 defensive stops. If they get 4 defensive stops, we win the game. I think they need to spy Kyler Murray. I do. I think the Cowboys need to spy Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is going to be running on the Cowboys. Cowboys have got to stop all the explosive plays. They have to stop the explosive plays. Not only do they need to stop the explosive plays, they're going to have to stop the run. Arizona's going to try to run on them with Kyler Murray and the running backs. They got to stop the run. They got to disguise some of these blitzes and do more of it. I would love to see Matt Eberflus bring everybody up to the line of scrimmage like he's blitzing and then drop out of that blitz. But Matt Eberflus has the kind of defense that offenses just look at and go, okay, I know what they're doing. And that's how they're able to beat them. There's nothing to the defense. It is what it is. He needs to do more disguising. And we need this defense to play physical. Chanel said, gee, I would like to see pitch out to blue. Me too. I would like to see the Cowboys run old I formation with blue and run Luke Schoonmaker as the fullback. I'd like to see that too. They got to get him outside. He is not good enough. He is not good enough. And let me say not good enough. He's not built to run like Javonte Williams. He's not built to run like that. That's not his game. All right. And this is my predicted score. Y'all start throwing those scores down at the end. Don't y'all worry. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna do a big expose tomorrow on the NFC East. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure. I actually didn't update that. All right, special teams. Same as I was last week. I think the Cowboys need to put blue on the kicking game too. I just don't think Turpin is running it the same. I don't think Turpin is running it the same. Because they're playing him on offense and the kickoff returns. I think they need to kind of move it. All right, finally. My thoughts before we get to the score. My thoughts. I think the Cowboys will reestablish the run. I think Javonte Williams, Malik Davis, and whatever they do with Jaden Blue, I think they're going to have a big night in the run game. The play action will be back. The Cowboys score 40 again. I see nothing that shows me where they're not going to score 40 against the Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys should absolutely bet eat against them. I think that George Pickens has a big night against the Arizona Cardinals. Murray will run on Kyler Murray. Sorry. Kyler Murray will run on the Cowboys. I'm preparing myself for Kyler Murray to 60, 70 yards. Kyler Murray can scat, man. He can scat. He's going to use those legs on the Cowboys. They got to be ready. Cowboys defense plays better. For whatever reason, I think they're going to play better this week. And I'm telling you now, I'm going out on a limb on this. Better is relative, but I think they play better. I think the Cowboys will play physical. For whatever reason, I think they're going to play physical. This is a must-win game. And this is what I believe the score is going to be. Y'all get them scores in. Let's see what we're talking about. I believe the Cowboys win this game 41-27. Davion Wallace, me and you almost the same. I believe it's 41-27. Yep. Mose Logan, 41-31. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are scoring 40. They were scoring 40. 41-31 is how the Cowboys win if everything goes right. 41-27. But if the Cowboys lose the turnover battle, if their defense rises to the occasion and stops our offense, I say the Cowboys lose 30-27. The key to beating the Cowboys is keeping them around that 27 or below. If you can keep them 27 and below, you beat them. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep the Cowboys below 27. I think the Cowboys score 40 again. And if not 40, I think it's somewhere around what y'all are talking about. Terry Tatum, he says 38-17. Lil D Texas, 38-17. Yeah, Bama boy, 2.4. They're expecting it to be a close game. I don't. I just don't think they can hold the Cowboys offense. I don't. They don't have the same defense as the Denver Broncos. I think the Cowboys should be able to beat these boys up. They should. Carlito Cash, he said, I'd like to see them play more physically. I'm thinking they're going to play physical this coming week. I think the Cowboys will ride, or what their goal is to get this win, ride this win into the bye week over Schoenbeck. Savon Revel Jr. reports, whoever they get at the trade deadline, Cowboys may surprise us, may get more than one person. With all of that, I think it's going to be a good week for the Cowboys. It's Monday night. Dak Prescott plays well on Monday night. Dak plays extremely well on Monday night. I think they're going to beat him. And I think they're going to beat him big. Bama boy said Vegas is usually spot on. Man, I'm going to tell you this. I don't want this kind of game for the Cowboys. I do not want no close game for the Cowboys. Wow, J-Dog said 17-10. Now, J-Dog, I could believe that score, except for one problem. I don't think there's a universe in 2025 where the Cowboys could keep any team under 10 or 17. I don't think that defense exists for the Cowboys right now. Yep, don't think it exists for the Cowboys right now. So it is going to be tough. I think the Cowboys are going to beat them. And I think they're going to beat them big. I'm thinking the Cowboys because, again, 40 points at home. 40 points at home. All right, y'all make sure. Just put my email address down there in the chat. Y'all make sure you send your scores to my chat if you're interested in winning a Dallas Cowboys t-shirt. Put your scores, send it to my email address, and I'm going to award 5 people who get the score right Dallas Cowboy t-shirts. Oh yeah, Dak, I believe, is going to have over 300 yards. No doubt about it. Hallelujah. There is no faith remaining. Hallelujah. Well, you know what? The only reason why I still have a little hope, hallelujah. I got mustard seed faith in this doggone defense, and it's the size of a mustard seed, I'm telling you. That's how small it is. Davion Wallace, Dak 5-1 on Monday night. I like our chances. Yeah, me too. Then Cowboys gonna bounce back. They're gonna win this game by 40. And then they're gonna go into the bye week. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do on Tuesday. And then we'll be excited all over again. But I'm gonna talk to us tomorrow about the NFC. Because this road to the playoffs for the Cowboys, man, we're about to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We really are. We are about to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We have created this road for ourselves. We lost a couple of games that we shouldn't have lost. And now the road is going to be tough for us. Queen, she said the Cowboys 45. Cardinals 28. Yeah. Mose Logan said, Bookie G, we picking up Logan Wilson, linebacker from Cincinnati, and the cornerback from the Saints. Okay. Wiser Don, He said 21-48 Cowboys. Yeah, I think Cowboys scoring 40 on these boys. They putting up 40. 40! Not 40, 40. They putting up 40 on these boys. Now, if their defense rises to the occasion on the Cowboys, and this is where I'm telling you, man, I'm worried about Brian spending so much time in that defensive room. I'm worried. Man, you gotta stay with this high-powered offense. Bama Boy said boys 38, Arizona 31. Yeah, I'm excited though, man. I'm a little bit perturbed. And let me look at something real quick before we get out of here. Man, this is absolutely crazy when you think about it. The Cowboys schedule. Do y'all know we're not going to be seeing the Cowboys playing on Sunday a whole lot for the remainder of the season? Look at this Cowboys schedule. Let me see here. Let me pull out the old calendar. This Cowboys schedule is crazy. Cowboys are playing on a Monday night. They're playing Monday night. They're going to play Monday night against the Raiders. Monday night next week. Monday night on the 17th against the Raiders. They come back on the 23rd. That'll be a Sunday game. But then they come back on the 27th and they play a Thursday game. Then the Cowboys come back again against the Lions, and that's a Thursday night game. Cowboys come back on the 14th. It's a Sunday game, but it's at night. It's a primetime game. Cowboys play, and they do play on Sunday on the 21st. But then they play again on Thursday. And then the last game, if I'm not mistaken, is to be determined. That's a Sunday game. You never know what they could do with that, depending on how important it is, but that's a Sunday game. But we got 3 Sunday games left of the 9 or 8 games the Cowboys have left. And I think it's 9 games left. 3 Sunday games, and everything else is Monday and Thursday. And the majority of them left are primetime. Boy. Our Cowboys are about to be on everybody's television. Everybody's television, man. It's crazy. Everybody's television, the Cowboys gonna be there. So, all right, guys, appreciate y'all rocking with me. I think the Cowboys are gonna win. I'm pretty confident in that, but hey, they better win this one. Because if they don't win this one, season all but over as far as the playoffs go. I mean, they're gonna still have to play the game because still stranger things could happen. But they need to start a win streak, and they need to start it on Sunday. Brian Worley, what's going on? They have got to win this game on Sunday. All right, guys. My score, I'm predicting 41-37. Y'all send those to the email I put in the chat. Until the next time, God bless DC4L. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him.